We need to understand what Prof said, and that's the challenge to us in the industry. Most times, what we have gone through are not documented, and if there's nothing there, literature there for the academics to study, then how do we expect that the research, the gap analysis, the research, the conclusion, the contribution to knowledge will be meaningful? So, on the part of the industry, it is very, very instructive that we also need to start sitting down to start putting things. But again, the industry keep evolving. I've been in a class or in a meeting where somebody was nominated to speak on account management. And my first question is, have you managed an account before? The answer is no. So what will you go and teach them? If you look at the academic, 2 years ago, Nigerian University Commission unbundled mass communication, separating public relations and advertising as a course, journalism, broadcast and print another, media management. But in the advertising industry, the traditional agency unbundling happened 3 decades ago. Media department used to be an arm of the traditional agency. In fact, they are the least of the cousin in the agency structure. People that are less, how do I call them? They are the back. They do traffic. They have done everything. Just give it to those guys. Take it to the media house. Then, media independence starts evolving. First, we left the agency structure. Then we had MIPAN. There was a time AAA and MIPAN was trying to merge because in other clients and markets, they are just one single association. Now, today, media independence is a different skill. In fact, within that skill set, we see have others that are even coming up. Media strategy is there. They just say, I don't want to get myself involved in above the line. Just tell me what you want to spend. Now, account planning is there. Strategy is there. These are not taught deeply in the academics. So you have a mass comm degree and you are coming into the advertising industry. That's why we have finishing schools. Today, I can say we have at least 2 or 3 that I know. There's Orange Academy, there's O2 Academy, there's the one by MIPAN, Alphabet. And so, if you ask me, my suggestion would be to the lecturers in the schools to also take opportunities in this. If you are teaching strategy and you've done like 3 months course in O2, maybe it will also help. Again, I believe strongly as regulator and as custodian of this profession, we also have our own faults and blame. I was at Caleb University some few weeks ago, and after the engagement, I asked them, they said, we will bring some of the convener of that program to the National Advertising Conference. Now, why do we need to do that? I think for us too, we need to bridge that gap because the industry is so busy. Everybody is busy. The academic, they are so busy. So maybe now we need to start that conversation and engagement. We will try any university that is interested. We can arrange, just like Prof said, maybe we can bring some of the best of the best. Mr. Ginaoshika will always tell you, I started as a lecturer in University of Lagos. Maybe we need to bring some of our best and drag the like of Sibabeku, drag the like of Mr. Medebem, the like of Mr. Tunjadinka, and all of them, drag them into the university. Even if it is just for a session, we need to start doing that. And I say this with all sense of humility. ARCON will champion this, but it depends on the schools. We've done this for University of Ilorin, even 2 years back to back. that we even need to sponsor the people to have more like a career session. Because if we don't grow this, the challenge we will have is tomorrow advertising will start looking for talent. If you go to university, some people may not, some people in the industry find their way by cook by me. It's not an intentional or deliberate thing to come into this. So we need to also reach out. We will continue to bridge the gap and to ensure that we have that conversation between the town and gap. On the issue of creativity and regulation, it differs from markets to markets and from countries to country. We have what we call self-regulation and we have what we call statutory regulation. In some markets, it's pure self-regulation. In some markets, it's statutory regulation. But in Nigeria, we practice both self-regulation and statutory regulation. On one side, again, when you come about exposure of advertising and creativity, in some markets, it's post-exposure. Approval is post-exposure. In some markets, it's pre-exposure approval. In Nigeria, it is pre-exposure. We have peculiarity. Look at what happened. Before now, ARCON don't vet goodwill message. I've said this again and again and again. Because what is it to vet in a goodwill message? Merry Christmas, XYZ Limited. Happy New Year, XYZ. What is it to vet? But few years ago, we have a bank that came up during Easter and said, and rise like an aggregate bread. That is creativity, Abi. Happy Easter. The MD of the bank may be a Muslim. You can imagine if that has become a national problem. The year after, another event, we also have, and the same period for Easter, somebody comparing the death of Christ with a squeeze can of milk. It is flexibility of creativity. And the year after, we also had that Jesus paid your debt and not your tax. Happy Easter. Now, you know the nature of our people. In US, you have two products, Coke and Pepsi. You can climb on Pepsi to take Coca-Cola. But you can't do that here. Your brand advertising must be issue-based. In Nigeria, you are not allowed to make any claim. If you say you are number one, you have to give us a proof. If not, all the products will be number one.